Okay, thank you for coming back to our channel. Right, so we got Swamp Thing out for a change. We're getting it ready for the show season. So first show we got is coming up is Stuntfest at Santa Pod. So got the truck out, it's been cleaned, so we do that every time because we want Swamp Thing to look its best. So we used our Power Max products and it's nice and clean. Next thing we're up to is doing the oil change. So as you can see, everything's nice and clean under here. Got it all ready, so I use this big funnel so the oil goes in to the catch tank at the bottom. So already undone the sump plug. So yeah, so we're just about to do an oil change, of course, with Lucas oil. And the monster truck takes 12.5 litres of engine oil in the engine and also another litre in the oil filter. So we're going to be changing all of that. We've got all the spark plugs to change. But yeah, so as you can see, oil's still really nice and clean. You don't get any carbon build up in this because it runs on methanol, but the methanol does contaminate the oil. So that's why we have to give it an oil change every single time. Of course, always using Lucas oil. Also, what I'm doing at the moment as well, I've still got some more fiberglass to do. So these are some more of Terry Grant's panels off that Pro 2 truck that we did. So we've got some bedsides, what was quite smashed up, so they're having been repaired. The roof had a bit of a nightmare with it as well, so that was smashed up through the middle and all the corners knocked off of it. And that one at the back there, that one's got a big split in it as well. So we're going to make these all good, and then I'm actually going to make a mould of all of these panels so then we can reproduce these when we need to. So yeah, so I'll be doing that as well this week, as well as getting Swamp Thing ready for the shows. Okay, so we've changed the oil filter. George is now filling up the oil, so we put in 12 litres of Lucas oil in there. We've also done the oil filter, so the oil filter's around this side of the truck. So there's the old one that we've taken off, so we use a Morosso deep racing filter, and that's where it goes. It's up there. That little thing in the side of it, that's the oil heater for the engine, which actually plugs in there. Yeah, so that takes another litre of Lucas oil, so it's actually, if you're doing a complete oil change on the monster truck, there's 13 litres of oil. And the reason that is because this sump on this engine is so big, so it's a wet sump, but it's actually a winged sump, so it's actually wider than the actual engine is. And it's still got my cough, and it's also got baffle plates in there, and also because the engine's actually fitted in backwards, so that is actually the front of the engine there facing that way. So normally on a big block Chevy, under here the pickup point will be here, because when you accelerate, the oil will go to the back of the engine. Well, my engines are in the wrong way, so my pickup's been moved. So my pickup's up at this end of the engine, and inside this winged sump, there is actually baffles in it to keep the oil where the pickup is. So it's really quite cold in here today, so the oil takes a while to put in, doesn't it, Georgie?
Yeah, it's taking ages.
Okay, so another couple of things we've got to change. So we've got to fix the bump stop. So I've actually hit the bump stop. So this one's actually, if you take that up, that one's split, and I hit it that hard. So this is aluminium. That bit's aluminium. On this one, it hasn't got no aluminium on it. That's because it's been hit, and the aluminium is actually inside the rubber. So this piece has managed to go through that. It hasn't actually split the rubber like on this one, but it's actually inside there. And to get that out, we have to cut that anyway. So we have to put 2 new bump stops on this side. Last time we was out, it was really cold, and I just think because I run the shock absorbers fairly quite small, like I think basically when we did a jump, I didn't actually get very high on it, and it just hit the bump stop straight away. Yeah, so we've got to change that. So that means we have to reset the rear suspension, which we were going to do anyway. So George just finished off the oil change, and then we can have a look at this. Also, on the monster truck, we run an alternator, and somehow we've got an alternator, but we have got no belt on it, but we've got spare belts in the trailer. So that's another thing we've got to fix, and also we've got to change some spark plugs as well this time for this service on this engine. We want to change on the spark plugs, so George is pulling them out, so it's fairly clean, but what problem we get with the monster truck, it really uses the spark plug, so we have to keep putting new ones in. So we got some boxes of them down over there, but what we do, so this is a new one in there, and we gap it here, so this bit winds in. Let's show you how we do it. Okay, so this is how we gap the spark plug. So if you can see on the end, that goes in there. Just wind up the end, it grabs it, loosens it off. Now we check it, and that one's done. It's that quick. So we get another one, drop it in the machine, put the feeler gauge in, wind it up, pinches it, undo it, and check it, and that one's done. That's how quick it is to do the spark plugs. So one more to do on this side, so there's 4. We already put one in. Gapped it, it's got it, undo it, and check it. Perfect. Okay, so the spark plug's back in the hole now. Just quickly with the ratchet. And that's it done. This is what the bump stop should look like, and of course that one is completely broken, so we're going to change it. So we've got to get the piece out first, so let's get a Stanley knife. And it's going, it's under a lot of pressure, this is. And there it is, so that's it off now. So that is completely broken. You can see that is never going to end up like that. It's totally stretched. So all we have to do now is undo all the suspension, take out the rod end out the bottom of it, put that piece in, and drop that piece in there like that. And also we've got to do this one as well, because that one's starting to split. Where's the 28, George? Where's that ended up? Ah, you store it on the air intake then.
That's how it comes in handy.
So already I've loosened, there's a jam nut underneath this, what holds this piece in. I've already loosened that off. I'll do that while it's still got the pressure in it. Just makes it a little bit easier. Jack up the truck now. Undo the jam nut, or the rod end. I need to go up a bit higher yet. Actually, let's see if I can push it in a little bit. So then that's pieces off. That starts it off, and then you go and get a hammer now. Okay, so I got another hammer. So this is a dead blow hammer. So if I actually did hit the end of the shaft, it wouldn't damage it at all. But I'm pretty. Nearly there. That's it. Screw the rod end back into it, up to the jam nut. And then Line everything back up. Careful not to squash your fingers. Put the bolt back through. Put the nut on it. Do it all up. Do the jam nut up, and then just repressurize everything. And that's how to change a bump stop. Time for a monster truck cold start. I don't know why they say that on the internet, this one, but it is really cold today, so it might not start the first time. It normally takes 2 goes at starting it. So I just poured some petrol straight in the top of the supercharger into the bird catcher, and then time to start it. That's what I was on about. It doesn't normally start first time, because the first time it fires, it actually hasn't got any methanol up to the top yet. So normally it fires on this one. If it was warmer, it would fire up straight away, just because it's so cold today. So we have had the oil heater on. As you can probably tell, it wasn't actually running right. What is the problem, George?
2 of the cylinders weren't firing.
2 of the cylinders weren't firing. It's because George was in charge of putting the caps back on, and he's forgot to put 2 on this side, so that's that one.
You forgot to do the 4 on the other side, so...
Yeah, but I knew that before I fired it.
Well, I will.
So, hang on, which number is this to be? I can't see which number this one is. We're looking for number 8. I think that's a 6, so this one should be 8. Let's see what this one is. Pull this wire out. So that's 6.
That must be 8.
And that's 8 worn off, so that was number 8. I'm gonna have to clean my hands before I get back in now. I thought, it just doesn't sound to be running right. I'm not surprised, it's running like a really lumpy. Alright, so that should solve it now. Alright, let's go wipe my hands and then fire it back up again. Okay, so that's the truck loaded back in the trailer. All we got to do now is do the fuel on it, so fill all the fuel containers, and we're all ready to go off to Santa Pod for Stuntfest. So back in the workshop again, back in the back. So these are the panels. They're all repaired now, all in primer. Now I've just put a guide coat on them, and I'm going to sand them all down, get them all nice and smooth, but I'm not actually going to paint them. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to make moulds of these panels. So then we're going to coat them with wax, then we're going to put the gel coat onto it, and then we're going to put loads and loads of layers of fibreglass on it. So then we make a mould, so then we can make new panels in fibreglass of these. So these will be direct replicas of this. Okay, so as you can see, the panels now are nearly all ready. So yeah, a little bit thin on them at a couple of places, but it doesn't really matter because we're not actually going to be painting these ones. We're going to be making moulds of these. So the idea, we wanted them as smooth as we could get them, so the mould has got less imperfections in it. So I've just got this little bit more to finish on this one. So you can see I've got most of it out. I've block sanded it. Now I've just got to do in the last little bits by hand. The idea by block sanding, it just keeps it a lot smoother. So yes, just got this one to finish. Then we dry all the panels off, and then we can start waxing them to make them nice and slippy, so when we put the gel coat on, it doesn't stick. Okay, so it's all been polished and now the gel coat on. So you guys, you can see it's just brushed on. It doesn't matter if you get any runs in this at all, because this is the outside. What the piece you're going to see is the inside when I pull this off. So yeah, if you got any runs, it doesn't matter at the moment. Yeah, so it's got a nice coat of the gel coat all the way over. Paid special attention to all around the edges. You've got to make sure you get it all the way around the edges. And then got to leave this to flash off now, so it gets very tacky, and then we can start putting fiberglass onto it. Now I haven't done these ones because I thought I actually had more gel coat than I actually did. So but yeah, so what I've done, I've actually run out of gel coat. So I just had enough gel coat to do that one. So I've ordered some more, and it takes normally about 4 days to come in because I order it from down in Cornwall. So yeah, so at least I can get this one done and finished, and when the rest of the gel coat comes in, we can do the other panels. So yeah, so we can get this one done and out the way, make sure everything's going to be right on it, and then when the next lot of gel coat comes in, then I can polish and do the other two panels. Okay, so the panel is now, the gel coat's all tacked off now. So I'm starting to make the template. So first one is 300 GSM. The reason we make it 300 GSM is it bends a lot easier because it's a lot thinner. The rest of it is 600 GSM, and I've already pre-cut a whole load of them already. So there's 5 layers there ready to go on, and that's probably about halfway through because the moulds you have to make really thick because you don't want the panels to distort. So yeah, so what we do is we put 5 layers on in one go. Otherwise, if you put 10 layers on in one go, the problem you get is it's the weight, and it actually will distort the panel underneath because we're only supporting it on little stands. So we build it up with 5 layers to start off with, leave that to dry overnight, then we go in with a grinder, grind it all up, make it nice and rough again, and then we put another 5 layers on top of that. So then when that one's already hard, so it won't distort the panel. So quite a lot of fiberglassing to do, so we've got 5 layers to go on now, all in one go, starting off with 300 and then into 600. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just poured out the resin out the container, mixed it all up in the container as well. So I'm just going to put the hardener in. This is a catalyst. This is what actually makes the chemical reaction go off with the fiberglass. Comes with a graduated funnel, so you just squeeze it. That's the right amount for this one. So it's 1% we're making it up. I'm not going to put any dye in this one because normally, sometimes if I'm going to make a panel that's going on the truck, I'd already make it go black so we can actually make the resin go black. Don't really need to do it because this is just the mould. So there's no point wasting extra pigment. Mix it all up. That's it, nearly all mixed. It mixes really easy, this stuff. You can tell when it does it because it actually changes the colour. It actually goes like a grey colour. Because when you start off, it's fairly pink. And that's it all mixed in. back into the container and then give a nice coat of resin all over absolutely everything. Make sure you get all the resin all the way to the edge. And go all the way around. Okay, I think it's time for a bit of time lapse now, because this is going to take a while to do this. So enjoy the time lapse. Okay, so it's the next day. I keep forgetting the video, so yeah. So this is the one we fiberglassed yesterday. As you can see, it's pretty dusty in here, because what I'm doing now is I'm actually getting it prepared for putting some more fiberglass on. So we got another 5 coats of fiberglass to go on this. So let's show you how I do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, as you can see here, that's what the fiberglass looks like at the moment, and we want it to look like this. So what we do is get the angle grinder, and we do that all the way over the panel so it's nice and smooth. Then we degrease it again, we blow it off with the airline, then degrease it, and then we're ready to put on some more fiberglass. Okay, so it's all sanded down now, removed all the dust. So now what we're doing, we're putting another coat of resin all over the panel. You can see I've already done all around the edges, so you've got to make sure you do all the edges. The edges are the hardest bit to do when you're fiberglassing. So yeah, so go all the way around the edge. And then exactly the same as yesterday, more fiberglass to go on. Okay, so the panel is now finished. So yeah, so that's all 10 layers, all of it on there now. So we've got to leave it to dry now, get it fully hard again, and then we can go around and we can pop it out of the mould, and then we can cut it off where the black gel coat is. So that is when we know, so the panel's in the right place. So yeah, this thing is super heavy now. So it's got 9 layers of 600 GSM on it, and then 1 layer of 300. So yeah, and it's actually used 25 kilos of resin. So yeah, so that one is complete. Just got to wait now for it to harden, then we can pop the panel out. Okay, so I've popped the panel out. So now we have a mould. So now we can make the bedsides when we need to. Yeah, so really quite heavy, this thing. I'll show you around it. So there we go, there's the mould. So this is the inverse of what we want. So when next time we do it, so we'll be putting gel coat onto here and then laying the fiberglass in here, and that'll actually make the panel. As you can see, it's really, really smooth, really slippy. Still got all loads of wax on it, so it came out fairly easy. There was only one problem I got with the panel, and it's my fault. So if you look up here, I actually left a little bit of wax on. I must have missed it. So that's a little bit of imperfection, but it won't stop us making the moulds, because all it'll do, we just have to sand that a little bit. I'll put a bit of extra gel coat on it and sand that piece out. But there we go, all done. So that's the end of the video for this week. Still got the other panels to make, and also I've just had the delivery. Okay, so this is what I've just had delivered. I've got Terry Grant's Pro 2 truck back in the workshop to just do a few little bits on it. So the main thing we've got to do is we've got to change the gearbox in it, because we've got one of my spare monster truck gearboxes in it. So it actually broke the back of the drum and a lot of internals in it. So that's back from Zanetex repaired that. Also going to be changing the seat. Got one of his sponsors are giving him a seat to put on it. And just loads and loads of little bits to do on the truck, just to get it absolutely perfect. So that's going to be coming up next on the next video. And of course, don't forget to buy your tickets for Stuntfest at Santa Pod for the 15th of February. It's probably going to be ticket only, might have even sold out by now, but make sure you check out santapod.com. But until next time, bye bye.